Right then, here we go. Hello everybody. Apologise straight away if I'm going to be a bit rusty. It's been a while since I've done this, but welcome to the stream. This is round 6 of the DRL season in Tier 1. Here we are at Imola in northern Italy, and should be a pretty good race. Quick little refresh on where we are at the moment. Last time out in Monza, Jeslar got the win for the Williams, a starving drive for P2. It was pretty close between him and Rian in a Haas, who finished just 0.4 of a second off the lead. We had the McLaren of Kavlin rounding out the podium. Impressive drive from 7th as well. Really helping McLaren in the constructors. And we had DRL Mike taking the honours of fastest lap with a 1:20.9. Jumping over to the driver's standings, Jeslar extended his lead last weekend to 46 points after the win, and it is getting tight in the race for second. Our second and fourth are separated just by 6 points, with Valen and Rian making up 3 and 4 places respectively. I think it is 92 points second place for. I have not written down who is in second. And I think Valen and Rian are only a couple of points off that. Into the constructors, it's pretty tight up the top with AlphaTauri and Williams separated just by 7 points. Looking a bit further down, strong weekend last weekend for McLaren, so I move up 3 places to 4th. And at the bottom of the table, Aston Martin really in need of a good weekend, although they have got reserve drivers in this weekend. Me being new to this league, not quite sure how that pans out with the constructors' points, whether or not they get allocated to the team or not. But they are starting to get cut adrift from the rest of the pack, having scored just 14 points so far this season. So before we start getting into the qualifying action, just a few quick facts about Imola. Based obviously in the Emilia-Romagna region of Italy, hence the name of the Grand Prix. It's our second sprint, I believe, with the first I think being in Baku earlier this season. Track length is 4.9 kilometres as of 2009 when they redid the track layout, and the real life lap record is a 1:15.4 set by Lewis Hamilton in 2020. We have 19 corners, many of them famous for many different reasons. Obviously formerly known as the San Marino GP, returning to the grid in 2020 as the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, and it dropped off the grid in 2006 after 26 years on the calendar previously. And notable corners at this track are Tamburello, as we all know, Tosa, Acqua Minerale and Rivazza. My child has just been a little bit sick, that's awesome. Right, so let's get into the qualifying action. Let me just sort out my data. Let's figure out who we should go on board with. Let's have a look who's on our Calvert in the Haas. So let me just pull up the standards just so I can see whereabouts he is. I only made a few small notes from my previous amble. So looking at the driver's standings, Calvert P10 is only 3 points off of Adrian Smith in 9th, and is quite far away from P8, who is currently on 71 points. So he'll be looking to at least jump ahead of Mr. Smith and stay ahead of John Holmes and Cavemeister. Kinamura in a Mercedes just about to go on a lap. I think we'll stay on board with him for now. Looks like he is a reserve according to my standings, but you never know. So we'll stay on board with Kinamura as he comes on the run down to the Tamburello chicane, as John Holmes goes quickest with a 1:17.0 on the sauce. Very nice lap there from John Holmes. Immediately shattered by Jeslar, our race winner last weekend, with a 1:16.1, 9 tenths already on the rest of the field. Nice from Kenamura, and Kenamura has lost it into Tozer. That was a very interesting crash. We will jump on board with Calvert now, see how he goes through Villeneuve, very nicely indeed. Into Tozer now, looks like Kenamura has managed to get going again without much issue. Going past the Williams, who's slowing down now, I presume that's probably John Holmes, through Piratella now. See if Calvert, and that's Kenamura having a dismal start to his qualifying session again. Through Acrominovali now, up to the run to Variante Alta. We'll see what his sets is, 51.9. That's not terrible. We'll see where he stands. I imagine around P3, P4. So at the moment we've got both AlphaTauris in the pits, along with Link's Peace in the Mercedes, Archer and Valent just coming on outlaps now. Everyone else is currently out on track. So Jeslar up front and Rian in P2. It's as you were at the top as Calvert, because P7 I thought that was going to be a better lap than it was. And we've got people coming into the pits now. As Sam Newton with a 16.0. Sam Newton, one of the reserve drivers this weekend, just coming down to Tamburello now. Don't know whether he'll be going for another lap or whether this is a cool down now. But Sam leading the times, not for long as 808 Smith. Straight to the top with a 16.0 as well. The top three separated just by 0.04 of a second. Jeslar will be hoping for a better lap if he wants that pole position, and as will Rian if he wants to get anywhere near that front row. So looking a bit further down, we've got Zenix Josh, who is another one of the reserves today in the Aston Martin. He will be looking to impress, hoping to eventually get a full-time seat if he can. Zenix Optics, I do apologise, is currently in the pits. He's P10 on 17.2. He'll be looking for a better lap, I'm sure. And Calvert on his way back to the pits. He is currently last of the valid times. So we've got Mike, who is on an outlap, and Faulkner as well. Kenamura has made it back to the pits in one piece, just about, and Alex Peace is just going on a lap now. I will hop on board with Spencer Milton for now, because he is just coming towards the end of this lap. Got a Ferrari going slowly, coming out of getting out of Spencer's way as he comes through. It's a 50.7 in the middle sector, so that puts him at least 1.2 ahead of Calvert. So he'll be at least on a 16.4. So I'd imagine it'll be P5, P6 with this. As he comes through with Atsu now, and that is another spinner. A lot of spinners here today. That is not something I was anticipating. Looks like that was Cave Meister. Spencer at 16.4 goes P6, as I expected. On 3, that's his third lap on this off, so I'm amazed. So Archer is coming into the pits. We've got Arlink's Peace, who's just coming through Piratella now. This is looking very pedestrian, as he has invalidated this lap. Kenamura has decided to come back out of the pits. We'll see what he's going to do. Faulkner is currently coming through Tamburello, and Mike is currently going through Tozer. We'll carry on with Mike, see whether or not he can get far up the grid. Throughout here, he's not the slowest of drivers. Looks like Kenamura has had a little bit of an instinct again. Mike, nice through Piratella, now on a run through Acrominovali. Love this sequence of corners. If you're brave, you can get up the inside there, but it's not recommended in these cars, judging by how sensitive they are to side-on contact. Through Variante Alta now, and it just runs a little bit wide. That was a purple middle sector according to my timing screen. Whether or not that is 100% correct or not, we'll find out. As he comes through with Vatsa now, through the last part of Vatsa onto the start-finish straight. Will he set a decent time? We'll see. It's a 14, it's a 15, it's a 16.2 from Mike. That puts him P5 at the moment. And we'll quickly go through to Faulkner. He's coming through towards it. 15, 16, looks like it's going to be a 17.6 for Faulkner. So that is Faulkner about the same speed as Calvert at the minute. Not a good split between the AlphaTauris. AlphaTauri need a much better performance from Faulkner. So if you just excuse me a minute, I'm just going to clean up my arm, as I am, as I said earlier, covered in baby sick, and then I'll be right back to you. Right, that's me back. I'm all cleaned up finally. So it looks like it's still as we were at the top with Smith, Newton, Lancer and Jeslar, the top four. Mike, Farland, Spencer and Ryan, top 8. And John Holmes and Cape Meister rounding out the top 10 at the moment. In the bottom half, we've got Optics, who's just improved on a 16.7, Swanee in 12th, Zenit Josh in 13th, Faulkner 14th, Calvert 15th, and last of the timed laps. We've got Kenamura, who is just having an absolute mare. He's still not set a lap. Alex Peace, who invalidated, of course, so he's not set a lap yet. And Archer, who is also is on a lap at the moment. Let's see whether or not he can complete it. It's valid at the moment, coming through with Vatson now. We'll see whether or not he gets a good exit onto the start of the straight. That is very nice, as Rian goes top with a 16.0, puts 400 between him and... Whoa! I did not expect that. Archer with a 15.5 puts half a second on the field. That, by far... I think that could be the pole time, ladies and gentlemen, for the sprint. Obviously, after the sprint race, that will set the order for the grid. As Swanee improves to fourth, good showing from the Alfa Romeo pair at the moment, and Jeslar 15.5 as well. It is not going to be a one-horse race at the front, and I retract my statement of that was to pole that, because Jeslar has obviously just beaten it. This is going to be an interesting qualifying session, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like I've got a McLaren just going on like that. Looks like Spencer Milton. See if we can ride on board with him as he comes down into Tamburello. Nice but tentative through there, I think is probably the correct phrasing for that. Through Villeneuve now. Very nice and tidy through there. He's up by 2 thousandths on his previous time. As everyone's starting to come back into the pits now before their final runs. Through Piratella. Runs a bit wide, keeps it valid, importantly. Through Acqua Minerale and up on the run to Variante Alta. Let's see, it's up by a tenth. It's up by a tenth, so he will jump up, and he's bottled it. He's bottled it. Looks like I think that'll be everyone back in the pits now, waiting for their final runs before the end of qualifying. Let's see whether or not anyone can challenge Jeslar and Archer at the front. At the moment, they both have a gap of about half a second on the rest of the field. Rest of the top 10 is separated by about 3 tenths. It's a nice little lull at the moment. Looks like we've just got Alex Peace and Jejo Lancer out on the track at the moment. Let's see if I can get one of these. Alex Peace, we'll spectate Alex Peace, see if he can do a valid lap this time. Keeps it valid, which is very good. Through Acqua Minerale now. I love saying that word. Is invalidated. Unlucky. I keep pressing the wrong button. Right, Jejo Lancer is the other driver who's currently out on the track at the moment. So we'll spectate the Ferrari driver. This looks like it could be a trip back to the pits, this. Very slow lap time indeed. No, it was just a very slow outlap. Must have fueled up for another. And off we go with Jejo Lancer. Let's see what he can do in the Ferrari. On the run down to turn 1 now. Let's see if he can spot his braking zone. He does very nicely. And ooh, he's had a tank. Yeah, I think that will not do his lap time any world of good. I don't see him improving on this lap now. And that's even worse. We've got people coming out now onto the track for their final runs. As my child is destroying my notebook. So I'll hop on board. Stop pressing triangle. I'll hop on board with Smith, I think. See what he does in the other Ferrari. as apparently his outlap is 7 minutes. I doubt his outlap's been 7 minutes long. I love this game. Right, here we go. DRS activated, coming across the start-finish line. Here we go. On the run down to the first turn. Can he spot his braking zone? Will he be able to get through as cleanly, unlike his teammate? No. it's the short answer. Right, who else we got? We've got Valen. Let's see if we can find the McLaren driver, our third place driver from last week. See what he can do. DRS active, across the start finish line. Check behind. Yep, no drivers behind. We've got yellows all over the place. I think that's just drivers aborting their laps. We've got an Aston Martin just jumping out of the way, making sure not to ruin the lap of the McLaren driver. Through very nice and clean through Tamburello, on the run down to Villeneuve now. We'll keep an eye on his sector time, see whether or not he's going to be up at all. Very nice through Villeneuve, and it is 300ths up. 300ths up through sector 1. Exit to Toes now on a run down to Piratella. Piratella, wonderful corner if you get it right. Horrible corner if you get it wrong. You need to have full trust in your rear end and vent through the absolutely awesome sequence of Ackerman Raleigh. Very, very interesting overtaking spot if you're brave. Up now to Fabian Telter. He is down on his time by half a tenth. See whether or not he can claw that back through the final sector through Rivazza. And he's got traffic that might hinder him a little bit as he comes out of the final part of Rivazza. Run up to the DRS. He gets it. Will he improve? No. Yes. He improved his time, just not his position. We'll jump on board with one of the reserves now. We'll jump on board with Zenix Josh on his outlap. See what the young driver can do. Very nice on-brand helmet in the Aston Martin as well. As my child is trying to throw himself off the bed, which is very fun to try and stop. So, out the final corner. Let's see what Zenix Josh can do on his debut in DRL. Yellow flags everywhere again. Looks like a Red Bull is, and that's Cavemeister, I believe, in the wall on the exit of Tamburello. It is. Looks like he's had a bit of a tank slapper and he's backwards. I've done that. It's not difficult to do. Noticed at the bottom as well, Faulkner has just crashed, or is he just retired? I'm not sure, because he's on track. Is he retiring on track? We've had another crash by the looks of it, out of Piratella. The Alfa Romeo of Archer has crashed. Yeah, that is another... Got to start to see the mistakes happening now, as everyone's trying to push for those final temps. Staying on board with Josh, I've not noticed his sets of times. He's 2 tenths up, nearly 3 tenths up on his time. That'll put him sort of around P4, P5 at the minute. Sam Newton's third on a 15.8. Smith and Swanee have also finished. They stay in 5th and 6th. Spencer Milton's 11th, as Rian goes P3 with a 15.8 as well. Jeslar with a 15.4 to further extend the gap at the top. Zenix Josh, and he only improves by 300, so that is not good enough from the rookie driver. All we're waiting for now is DRL Mike, who has invalidated, so that is it for our running in qualifying. So our final order in qualifying is Jeslar on pole with a 15.4, Archer P2 with 15.5, just a tenth and a half back. Couple of tenths further back, we've got Rian and Sam being one of the reserves for this weekend. Smith, Swanee, Joe Answer all on 16.0s, close behind. And then round up top 10, Kvarlen in the McLaren, Mike in the AlphaTauri, and the other rookie in the Aston Martin, Zenix Josh with a 16.3. Further down the grid, we've got Spencer Milton, Kedamura, who finally managed to set a decent lap time after a dismal start. John Holmes, Alex Peace, and Optics in P15 on 16.7. Cavemeister, one of the 3 drivers to DNF in that session. Calvert managed to pull himself off the bottom, and Faulkner, I believe that was, right down at the bottom there. So, on to the sprint now. Obviously, sprint format is a shorter format compared to the main race. I think it's around a third distance. I think in real world, the full race is around 300 kilometres, so the sprint's around 100, so it's about third distance. So, just the 11 laps, which should be fun. Let's check and just see if there's any noteworthy incidents. Just a lot of speed in the pit lane and track limits. And then obviously we've got terminal damage for Cavemeister and Archer in the Alfa Romeo. Anyway, that's it for qualifying. Anyway, I think everyone will probably be starting on softs in the sprint. Wanted to save the mediums for the race, with it being a 50%er. And we'll see how everyone gets on and whether or not anyone can challenge Jeslar at the top. I think my son's decided he wants to watch the race rather than sleep, so as he waves at himself in the mirror. Be interested to see if we've got any wet weather in this race coming up. If anyone knows, do let me know in the general chat or in the tier 1 chat. Looks like Mike said no rain, so that's good and bad. Bad because I do like rain, it does tend to spice things up a little bit, but good because it means there should in theory be a lot less mistakes. Just waiting now for everyone to ready up, and then we'll be off onto the formation lap. Right, here we go. Start of the formation lap. We'll ride on board with Jeslar first. Jeslar, our championship leader, will be looking to extend that lead once again. He is starting from the pole. He had a 10.5 advantage off of the Alfa Romeo of Archer in second place. We need to keep the standings on just so much to see what's happening. Right. Archer is P7, he's quite close actually to Lynx and Joe Lancer, they're only a point apart in P6, 7 and 8, so he'll be hoping to get the jump on them. Hopefully, possibly catch up to Faulkner as well, with Faulkner starting dead last. That's a good chance for Archer to bridge that 10-point gap. Rian, our second place driver last week, he's starting third, he'll be hoping for another good one. Sam Newton, one of a couple of debutants this weekend, he'll be hoping for a clean race, give a good impression to the league owners. Smith in fifth, he'll be hoping to try and steal a podium if things go his way. Swanee as well, second Alfa Romeo, good showing from them in qualifying along with Ferrari. He'll be hoping to score some decent points for the Alfa Romeo team. Joe Lancer had a bit of a scruffy qualifying but still managed to play at P7. Interesting to see where he finishes. Kvalan, our third place driver from last weekend, he'll be hoping to close that gap a little bit at the top. DRL Mike, he'll be hoping for a clean race as well, as will Zenit's Josh and Spencer Milton, two more debutants here this weekend. Ken Amura, he'll be hoping for a clean race, he'll be hoping, as he weaves very excessively, he'll be hoping not to have too many spins, as everyone looks like they're on mediums. Yes, they are. Ilinx Peace, Optics, Cavemeister Calvert and Faulkner obviously rounding out the grid, as Optics has failed to line up in his grid box properly. What on earth is Cavemeister doing? It's very interesting positioning. I hate this camera angle. 3, 4, 5 red lights. It's lights out and away we go at Imola as Jeslar gets a good start. But Archer gets a better one, and they are side by side on the run down to Tamburello. Please, game, come on. Looks like he's going to go around the outside. Oh, and he has to cut across the gravel. How does Archer? So Jeslar has the lead. Archer second place, Ryan in third. Sam Newton is fourth as Calvert has retired already. Safety car. I hope this is not going to be a feature of the sprint and main race, because I do not have the gift of the gab. I will struggle to think of things to say. Can't tell if this is safety car or a VSC. Looks like a full safety car. My game is not telling me, which is lovely. So let's have a look at the changes of position. So big winner in the top 10 is Joe Lancer and Zenit's Josh, both up 2 places. Smith and Swanee both losing 1. Mike staying where he is. Ken Amora up 2, Eilinks up 3. Faulkner up 5 from 18th. He is a man possessed by the looks of things, as Kvalin has had a terrible start to the race and is down in 14th. Optics has stayed where he is, pretty neutral, with Spencer Milton as well having a diabolical start. Be interested to see what happened in the midfield there. It's just a VSC. I think it is just a VSC because there's no safety car on track. And we are green once again as Jeslar leads from Archer. We're just to see if Alfa Romeo can close up to him and make the pass, as Rian very brave on the brakes there. Fallon has made up places already, and that's a Mercedes. Ken Murray having another scrappy session. Fallon will be looking to try and catch me and close the gap. As Optics and John Holmes just come out of the pits, they'll be hoping for another safety car. Looking further up, looks like Eilinks Peace and Cavemeister both benefiting massively from that restart. The gap's staying. And we've got Red Bull round, that's a reset to track for Cavemeister. I don't know what the rules are for reset to tracks in this league. I know in other leagues it is frowned upon quite considerably. As Jeslar pulls out the gap to around 4 tenths now, and I think this is going to be a pretty simple one, as Mike is side by side almost with Zenit's Josh. I just spotted the gap there, see whether or not we can, as Josh has gone deep into turn 1, see whether or not Mike can try and get this move done. Doesn't look like it at the moment, as we've got overtakes further on as Joe Lancer gets past Swanee by the looks of things. And we've got, looks like Zenit's Josh and Mike having a good old tussle down here. Zenit's Josh just using his ERS sparingly to keep in touch through Piratella. And Jeslar has pulled a 6-tenth gap now, and Archer has a penalty, 3-second penalty. That will drop him down. That drops him down to 4th at the moment, 5th now, as Smith has got a bit close. Mind you, that is from the leader, so probably still 5th, potential 6th depending how close Swanee can get. Let me go back to intervals. See, Lance looks like he can be the next one to make a move, as Mike is up to 7th now. Jeslar with another fastest lap, 17.7, as DRS is enabled. See if there's anyone who's pretty close. Ken Mura, ooh, these are side by sides, and it's Josh and Eilinks Peace. Josh drowning a little bit in this race. Beautiful move up the inside from Eilinks Peace, and they are side by side with each other going through Tamburello, and that is unfortunate. I don't know whether or not that would be classed as a racing incident, or whether or not that would be more Josh's fault, but they both came together. I think Eilinks Peace might have got a bit of a swapper on. So that's a full safety car. That is a full safety car, and that will help Optics and John Holmes massively. So taking stock where we are, it's as you were in the top sticks, no position change at all. This is not going to help Archer, who has that 3-second penalty. Then a bit further back we've got Mike, who's up 2 places, and Ken Murray, who's up 2. Faulkner's up 6 now, up to 12th. Our big loser is John Holmes, who's in the pits at the moment. Again, he's having a bad time. He's pitted twice now. It's been quite a clean race, to be fair, apart from the obvious instance with Calvert and Lynx, as Archer pits and has retired. Archer's retired and left the session. I don't think someone was happy with that 3-second penalty. And Faulkner gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Let's go back to broadcast as we come through Tamburillo. On board with Josh in P8. He's not doing too badly in his debut. Kimura up 3 places. That retirement for Archer has helped. Faulkner and Spencer both in the pits. Interesting to see people pitting. I wasn't expecting that. Both on. Oh, yeah, Spencer onto the softs. And it's like Faulkner onto the mediums. Optics is just about catching up with the rear of the pitters. All the rest of these gaps look pretty stable. We'll go on board with Jeslar just so we can see what's happening up front. Looks like it's been a boring race so far for him, and he'll be hoping it continues. At the moment we've got the same 1-2 as last week in Monza. And Sam Newton on his debut currently in the podium positions. He'll be hoping he can hold on to that. And Spencer Milton, one of the other rookies, will be hoping to come through the pack on those softs. Hopefully they'll do him justice. Again, I do apologise if I am a bit stop-starty. I'm a bit rusty. I've not commentated in quite a while. Last time I did, I didn't have a child, so I do have a few ideas of what I might change depending on how this goes. I'm not the kind of commentator who does podium interviews, so if you were hoping for that, I do apologise, but it's not really my thing. But I am thinking about possibly doing a race preview and race review. Based off watching back footage, etc., and looking at standings, and just putting together something like that, whether or not I do it as just a post on Discord, or whether or not I do it as potentially a podcast with some of the drivers. We'll wait and see. I am on good terms with a few of these drivers, so there is a chance I could do a podcast with a few of those. It will just be over some game footage because I'm not that well versed in that area. So we're just waiting for John Holmes to catch up. I imagine the safety car will be in at the end of this lap, and we will be back racing for a 5-lap sprint. I mind you, 7 laps, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, 5-lap sprint. And Jeslar will be hoping he can carry on as he was and win this race. Rian will be hoping to challenge him, and I think Sam Newton will be hoping he has an outside chance, but I think he knows his real fight is Smith behind him and Swanee and Alfa Romeo as well. Don't discount Mike either. He is 3 places gained now since the start. Safety car is coming in, everyone is caught up. We are going to go racing at the end of this lap. I'm excited, my child is excited. I hope you're all excited as well. I do apologise for keeping choking up. I do have a bit of a sore throat at the moment. But coming through with Vatsa now, and he's gone. He is gone by the looks of things. Jeslar's gone. We are green in Imola. We are green at the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix, and he already has a 7/10 lead over Rian, but Rian looks like he's got a bit of straight line speed because he is closing that gap. Sam Newton, on the other hand, 2 tenths off at the moment. He'll be hoping to keep touch with those. He has dropped Smith. Jeslar span! Jeslar span! That is awesome. Not awesome, that is just... I was not expecting that. Jeslar has thrown away the lead And Marcus Mann as well. The most improved of Mike and Jeslar, who is our championship leader, is at the back. Rian is on for a win. Sam Newton on for P2 at the moment, but if he can keep in touch, he might even be on for the win. In fact, that's blown this race wide open. That's blown the feature race wide open. Shut up, child. That's blown the feature race wide open with our championship leader going to be starting 13th as it stands. That is not going to help him in the slightest. Sam Newton is keeping touch. We'll have a couple more laps. Well, we'll have one more lap of racing after this before we get DRS, as Faulkner is up to 9th now. That is a very good improvement from Faulkner from last on the grid. As I say that, I've just noticed he has got a penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and he has just been overtaken by Spencer. But still, Sam Newton is on the charge. He is trying to catch Rian into turn 1. He is not going to go for the overtake. I know Sam. He is more intelligent than that. Exit to Tamburello now, keeping it safe as Kvalin has been overtaken by Spencer. Spencer on the move in the McLaren on his debut. We're staying on board with this leadership battle at the moment as Smith is starting to catch these two. Gap down to 9/10 between Sam and Smith. Sam will just be hoping that he can keep touch with Rian for the next lap, because DRS will be activated at the end of this lap, but he won't get it until lap 9. He won't get it until the end of lap 9. As Zenit's Josh has a 3-second penalty for corner cutting. It's a shame because he was having such a good start to his debut. I do apologise for the over-enthusiastic child. He just really likes his racing. On board with Rian as Sam Newton is only 3/10 behind. Let's see whether or not Sam can close up on the run down to Tamburello. He's not closing up much, and the move will not be made on this lap as very clean through Tamburello. Sam will be looking to keep a gap around 4/10. So Spencer Milton has spun. I was just singing his praises for what a good start he's made in this race. As John Holmes spins as well, Spencer has now undone all that work and is now in 12th position, just behind Jeslar. Sam is keeping the pace with Rian as Jeslar moves up into the top 10 now. And Kvalin gets a 3-second penalty as well. People's race is starting to fall apart a little bit now. We'll ride on board with Sam Newton as we close out this lap through Variante Alta we go. Sam's got that gap down to 3, just under 4/10. We'll be hoping to keep it that way through the DRS zone, as he'll be hoping to make a move into Tamburello. Through exit of Rivazza, and we'll see now, yes, 200 metres to the DRS. Sam will make a move on this lap. Let's see what the Aston Martin reserve can do. Will he be able to get a move down to Tamburello? He is closing. Will he close enough? I don't think so. Oh, he goes. No, I thought he was going for it then, but Sam thinks better of it. This is turned out to be quite the fight for the lead of this race. Sam has lost a little bit of time now as Jeslar is starting to make moves through the pack. He is up to 9th as Faulkner gets him back straight away. Nice little fight between those two at the moment. Faulkner, as I said, up 9 places from 18th on the grid. He is having a good race at the moment. Our closest battle in the pack at the moment looks like Optics, who's catching up to Jeslar, or Ken Murray, who's just behind Zenit's Josh. We'll ride on board with the Mercedes driver. I keep pressing the wrong button. So we'll find Ken Murray, there we go. Spectate the Mercedes driver. Through the variant out as Sam Newton has lost a bit of time, and Cave Meister has crashed. Has he crashed or has he just retired on track? I think he's just retired on track, but that's another DNF in this race. Just the yellow flag doesn't look like we're going to get a safety car for that one. Sam Newton is about half a turn back. Ken Murray with such a straight line advantage over Zenit's Josh. Gets the move done before they've even started turning for turn 1. Kinamura now up 6 places, and Sam Newton with a 3-second penalty. That's going to put him P4 at the moment. Sam will lose his podium as it stands, unless he can pull a better gap on Smith. Kinamura now setting his sights on Swanee, as Jeslar is trying to keep within reach of Faulkner. We'll stay on board with Kinamura through Piratella, as he has a bit of a tag slapper. Through Akaminerala now, he is starting to close in Swanee slowly but surely, but this is the last lap. Unless Sam Newton is going to make a move into Rivazza, which would be foolish in my opinion. It looks like Rian is going to win the sprint race, as Jeslar has got Faulkner again. John Holmes has retired, and Optics has got a 3-second penalty as well. Everyone's getting the penalties now. Optics will drop down to 12, but it is Rian who takes the sprint. Rian takes the sprint, Sam Newton second. Smith second. He has got just enough of a gap on Joe Lancer to keep third place to Sam Newton. Swanee 4th, Ken Moore 5th, Jeslar 7th, Josh 8th on his debut, Farland 9th, Spencer 10th on his debut as well. I will go through the rest of the results as we get to them. But Sam Newton, fair play. It was a good race at the front. It was a shame about the 3-second penalty. Ken Moore, unsurprisingly, with driver of the day, as that was a stellar drive from the Mercedes driver. So, rest of our results. Optics just missed out on a top 10 finish in the Alpine in P11. Faulkner at 12th, Mike 13th. Not a great race for AlphaTauri. John Hutton's 14th, Cavemeister 15th, Archer 16th, Eilink 17th, and Calvert 18th. Bottom 5 not finishing, and Archer actually leaving the session. I don't believe he will be returning to the session. So now we go into the main race. It'll be interesting to see who remains on top. It's a different kettle of fish completely. It's an entirely different strategical game to play. It's a much longer race, and you need to make a mandatory pit stop, at least one. I think it should be quite the prospect. Right, here we go. Formation lap number 2. There is our predicted pit stop strategy for 1-stop, medium to hard. Pitting lap 14, I completely missed what the alternate was. I just know it was a 2-stop. So we've got Rian, our sprint winner, in the whole shot. Smith P2, brilliant drive from him. Sam Newton, brilliant podium in the sprint. Lancer P4, he'll be hoping to improve on that 4th position. Swanee, Kimura, Jeslar will be hoping to get back to the front and try and maintain that lead he's got at the top of the championship. Zenit Josh in 8th, he'll be hoping to at least stay where he is. Farland 9th, he'll be hoping to get forward a little bit and try and put pressure on Jeslar. Spencer Milton in 10th, he'll just be hoping to score points. Optics will also be hoping to score points. He's not that far off pace wise, and I think with a bit of luck he will break in there. Both AlphaTauris, 11th and 12th and 13th, sorry, they'll be hoping for a much better feature race after a disappointing end to the sprint. John Holmes and Cavemeister, they'll be hoping for a better end to the feature race. Archer is not in his car. Eilink's in the Mercedes. and Calvert will also be hoping to actually make it past lap 5 this time. So we're forming up onto the grid now, and it is Rian who will be leading us away. I will be staying on board with Rian for the start, so I can get a better sense of who gets the better start, because the automatic broadcast cameras are dreadful. Waiting now for everyone to line up. Sam's going to angle his car very aggressively indeed. He's got to make sure he doesn't get DSQ'd. What did I say, Sam? Right. Looks like I'm just waiting for a Red Bull to get its act in gear and actually line up on the grid. Looks like that's Cave Meister. Waiting for the little circle and the 5 red lights. And we are ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and we are go in Imola. And it is an okay start from Rian. It is a brilliant start from Smith, who gets alongside Rian straight away, but the second phase is much better for the Haas driver, as Joe Lancer is already alongside ahead of his teammate. Sam Newton is filing behind the second Ferrari, and we've got Swanee, who is off in the gravel. Optics up to 8th. Kvarland has had a terrible start. Optics is out, the Alpine driver out straight away. I said he needed a good race, and he is out straight away. It looks like it's just a VSC, like we saw with the lap 1 incident in the sprint. And that was interesting. Again, another car through the gravel and another crash on the exit of Tamburello. So, looking at our winners and losers, Joe Lancer and Zenit's Josh both up 2 positions. Eiling's Peace up 5 from P17 on the grid. Our biggest losers are Faulkner and Swanee, both down 2 places. Swanee through that trip through the gravel. Faulkner, I do not know. So this is just a VSC. We'll be going ahead again very shortly. Joe Lance will be hoping to try and get the jump on Rian in the Haas. And we are green again in Imola, and Joe has managed to keep it within 2/10 of Rian. On the restart, the Ferrari driver is hassling the Haas. Like there is no tomorrow. I imagine he'll want to try and get past before the end of this lap, if possible. We're coming up to the first interesting overtaking point. He's not close enough to get anywhere near the inside through Ackermann. So it is as you were, as John Holmes is at 3 places and Calvert from last as well. It's all as you were in the top 10 at the moment, as Joe Lancer will be looking to try and get past Rian at the end of this lap. Through Rivatsa now, he'll try and slipstream it, as Zenit's Josh is up to 5th. Aston Martin having a good race, but not as good as Ferrari, as Joe Lancer is now using his ERS to try and get past Rian on the run down to Tamburello, and he is gaining, will go outboard for this one. Will he be able to get the move done? Is he going to go for it on the inside? No, he is sensible, and he's going to wait for his next turn, as Sam Newton and Smith are going side by side for Tamburello. Sam Newton getting the position on the Ferrari. Will go on board with Sam's teammate Josh now, see whether or not he can capitalise on the Ferrari's clunky first sector. As we have another yellow, looks like Archer's AI has had an issue. Or is Archer actually back in his car now? Nope. Looks like Archer's teammate Swanee's had an issue as well. So Alfa Romeo not having the best start, as Jeslar is up to 6th. He'll be looking to try and win this from 7th on the grid. as we've got spinner Kenmura is out. Will we get a safety car? Looks like Fortner's had a spin as well at the same point, and we have a full safety car. So it begins, folks. Full safety car once again. So in the sprint we had a VSC followed by a full safety car, and now in the main race as well we have a VSC followed by a full safety car. We haven't even had any DRS running yet. So Sam is up to third, back where we started. Then it's Josh is up 3 places. Alex Peace is up 7 into 10th, he's scoring points now. Constructors wise, looks like Williams and Ferrari are the beneficiaries. As Fortner has got another 5-second penalty. He got a 5-second penalty in the sprint for speeding in the pit lane, and he's done it in the main race as well. I both love and hate the lulls we have in safety cars. I'm going to take this moment to try and get my child to sleep, so I'll be back just before we go green. Right, I feel miserable at getting him to sleep, so we are going green at the end of this lap. We will ride on board with Rian, who will lead us off at the front of the pack. Joe Lancer will be wanting to try and get the jump on him, as it looks like everyone has more or less made a pit stop now. When will Rian go? Will he be out of Rivatsa, or will he wait until the start finish line, which would be foolish? Is he going? Yep, he's gone. You can see the twitchy back end. Looks like Joe Lancer has got the run on Rian. Is he going to go for the move now? Rian entitled to make a move. It's getting very nice and tight. We'll go outboard for this. Watch all three cars try and get the move done. Through Villeneuve now. Joe is still keeping Ryan honest and Sam Newton not far behind at all. We've got Zenit Josh and Smith fighting as well. On the outside of Tozer goes Josh, and that is a brilliant move from the Englishman around the outside of Smith. And that is up to 4th for the Aston Martin driver. Aston Martin 3rd and 4th at the moment. Zenit Josh will be looking to try and close the gap to his teammate and join that lead battle. Looking back, Jeslar has got Kvarland for company, and they'll both be trying to get past Smith, as Josh has had a bit of a clunky at Variante Alta. And is falling further and further back from his teammate and the lead group. And we'll go back on board with these guys now and see whether or not there's going to be a move from Joe, and Joe is alongside straight away. Joe has got the lead of the Emilia. No, he's not, and Rian's gone. Rian's gone. That, I'm not sure whose fault that is, if I'm completely honest. I think that could be Rian's fault. But I am not going to comment. Joe Lancer leads the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix from Sam Newton and Zenit Josh. It is an Aston Martin double podium, and Zenit Josh is fighting with Smith again on the exit of Tozer. Through Piratella now, looks like Josh has got the better of him once again. So both Aston Martins in the walls at the minute, but the Haas of Rian has, for all intents and purposes, bottled it. As Josh is defending heavily through Variante Alta, it looks like Smith could get a run, or is Jeslar going to get a run on Smith? That'd be interesting to see, as Sam Newton now is trying to get the lead off of Joe Lancer. We'll see whether or not he's got the straight line speed, as Joe Lancer gets a bit of a twitch on the exit, and Sam is... Has he got the straight line speed? Yes, he yes, he has, by the bucketful, side by side already. Joe Lancer getting a bit interesting with his defence, and Sam Newton takes the lead for Aston Martin. Zenit Josh is 3 seconds behind the lead group already. Jeslar is up to 4th and pressuring the Aston Martin driver. But it is Sam who leads, and Sam will be very happy with that indeed. As Josh has had a bit of a clunky Villeneuve, and Jeslar round the outside, really getting the move done. We will see. Is Josh going to squeeze him? This is brilliant racing from the two. Let's see whether or not Jeslar sticks it around. No, Jeslar is going to be quite... Whoa, and that's Josh. And Jeslar! Josh is out, Jeslar in the gravel. Tell you what, I'm getting good angles for the instance today at least. And we have another safety car, ladies and gentlemen. Jeslar is in the wars today. He's in P9 at the moment. We are 2 rookies down. 2 to go. Sam Newton leads the race, and Spencer Milton is in 4th. Right. And Cave Meister has retired as well. So, as it stands, Joe Lancer and Kvarland are pitted. Sam Newton stayed out. So Spencer Milton has as well, as has Mike, Calvert, Jeslar and Lynx. Everyone else looks like they're pitted, apart from Faulkner, who's got a penalty, and I don't think he really wants to do that again. So, as it stands on lap 9 of 32, Sam Newton leads from Spencer Milton. Both rookies having a good showing, but it is a safety car. They are on a different strategy to everyone else now. Mike in 3rd place, up 10 places, but Calvert, the star, up 14 places from the start. He started 18th. Jeslar in 5th, he's recovered well, but again he has been helped by the safety car after that incident that took Zenit Josh out of the race. Lynx, another one who's improved a lot, 11 places up from his starting, from 17th. Faulkner up 5, but he has got that 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. The Alfa Males are recovering well, although Archer is not actually in his car from what I know. And Swanee has done well, he's only dropped for 3 places compared to his start position. Great recovery after a couple of issues with gravel. Joe Lancer and Smith have pitted along with Kval and Holmes, Rian, who, to be fair, Rian might have just still before his spin, but chances are I think he has pitted as well. I think everyone 8th down has pitted now, so it'll be interesting to see where that goes. Right, let's have a look and see what people have pitted. Let's stop for 101. Stops, right, so the people who haven't stopped are Sam, Spencer, Mike and Calvert, so our top 4, and Archer's AI. Everyone else has made a stop. We'll have a look what tyres everyone's on. The majority of people are actually on hards, which I find interesting. Attempt number 2, we're trying to get my child to sleep, and we'll try and talk through it this time, so there's not as much of a lull in the commentary. And there'll be a lull anyway, because I always struggle with what to say in safety cars. As Zenit's Josh leaves the session despondent, so I'm not surprised. I wouldn't want to hang about if I'd been involved in an incident like that either. Looks like safety car is in this lap. Spencer is right on Sam's gearbox, as the Aston Martin will be leading us away at the end of this lap. Spencer and Mike on the hards, Calvert and Sam on the mediums. Who's going to get the better start? Who's kept the heat in those tyres? As Jeslar is last, looks like he's just pit. He'll be hoping not to get caught up in traffic too much, as Sam's gone already. Sam already has 7/10 lead, as we have a spinner and it is Swanee. Unlucky. So Sam leads by 8/10 from Spencer across the finish line. The hards not warming up anywhere near as well as the mediums. Everyone's staying more or less where they were at the moment. Let's go back to our position change, as Lynx is 5th, Calvert 4th and Mike 3rd. Kval looks like he's had a bit of an issue really. But yeah, Calvert's still at the moment most improved with 14 places, as Smith passed Archer's AI. Jeslar is 13th. Rian is up to 10th already. He's making light work of the midfield. I've finally got my child to sleep, thank God, as Sam has already pulled out well over a second from Spencer Milton in P2. We'll leave Sam for now. We'll go on board with Spencer and see how he's getting on against Mike. On exit variant Alta, what a tank slap for Spencer, and Mike has got past it. AlphaTauri up to second from P13 on the grid, and he will now set after Sam Newton, as Spencer looks like he's struggling massively on these hard tyres. He'll be wishing he'd pitted on the safety car. And again, it is on lap 12, and I want to take these as far as he can before he pits for the mediums. Sam already with a gap of 1.8 as Lynx get past Calvert. Both drivers up 13 places, but Lynx looks like he is the one on the move, as Mike's gone. Mike's spun. I did not expect that. Spencer back up to P2, but 2.5 seconds down on Sam, as Mike is down into last place, just overtaken by Archer's AI. as Links up the inside at Piratella. You do not overtake very often. That was a move and a half from the Mercedes driver. He is driving like a man possessed and will now be trying to catch Sam Newton in the Aston Martin. But you do wonder whether or not he's taken a life out of those hard tyres too early. Gap still stands at 3.5 seconds. Now up to 3.6. It's hovering around 3.5, 3.6 seconds. Looks like Sam's definitely got the measure of the field at the moment. But Link's definitely driver of the day material at the moment, as Jesla is currently up to 10th and Rian in 9th. I will go down to that battle now actually, because it looks like gaps are starting to come down a little bit as Rian is all over the back of Cavallo, but cannot get past. Looks like Jesla's pulled off a little bit. Is he going to dive down the inside? Yes he is. What a move. Nearly rear ends Fortner but manages not to. Great move from the Haas driver up to 8th now. We'll be looking to get past the AlphaTauri next. Looks like Smith is having a good battle with Spencer up the inside of Tozer. You betcha. And the Ferrari is up into P3. Spencer looks like he's struggling massively. It's McFarlane. McFarlane's crashed at Villeneuve. Got another safety car. So, another neutralisation. Awesome. See whether or not the top 5 pit now. I imagine Sam will definitely want to pit, minimise his loss under the safety car. I think if Sam pits now, he will come out around P7, P8 due to the safety car delta. Yeah, it looks like the Aston Martin is in the pits, as is Smith. Links, who I think pit on the last safety car restart. In fact, no, he didn't. He stayed out, so Links is still staying out. He's sticking with his strategy. Links now leads the race from 17th on the grid. Spencer in P2, Lancer in P3, and Faulkner in P4, but don't forget he has a 5-second penalty. Rian back up to 5th and Jesla in 6th. They'll be looking to try and win this now. Sam down in 9th now is pitted. Smith, Calvert, Mike and Archer's AI have also pitted. Let's have a look and see if there's anyone else still to pit. Just Spencer. Spencer is the only one to pit. I think Links might be trying to take those to the end. So, anyone in Tier 1 who is watching and fancies letting me know how their race is going, just if you can pop it in the Tier 1 chat, I'll be sure to have a look. And it'd be nice to actually converse with people. I think eventually I'd like to get a second commentator in, see how that goes. I'm not quite sure how the dynamic would go, because I've not really tried to work with others before, but I'm sure it'll go well, however it is. So just reaching the halfway point of it. Race looks like we're going to get another lap of safety car action. I've got a feeling that's not going to be the last safety car we get either. I've got a feeling a bit of the footage from the stream might end up being used for some incidents, which I'm not surprised if we do, because they have happened. And I have caught a couple of them. I caught one in the sprint, and I caught obviously Josh's DNF in this race as well. Right, let's get back to the racing, shall we? Right, so Links leads from Spencer Milton. Links has pitted, Spencer has not. I think Spencer might regret that. I think he's betting on another safety car towards the end. Lance is in third. He's made one position from his starting position. He'll be hoping to keep that podium for Ferrari. Faulkner in fourth, but as I keep saying, with the caveat of a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, he'll be hoping to at least put up a challenge or potentially block Rian and Jeslar as much as he can. Rian and Jeslar recovering well after both having spins in this race. As John Holmes is up 7 places in 7th from 14th on the grid. Swanee a nice recovery from an early spin as well, up to 8th. Sam Newton will be hoping for a clean end to this race, having just come out of the pits in 9th, along with Smith, Calvert, Mike, who had a spin as well, and Archer, who is still absent. So Lynx will lead the safety car restart. He is the man at the front. Spencer will be looking to try and capitalise. I think everyone is on hards. Yep. Joe Lancer has the hard. Joe Lancer and Rian have the freshest hards in the top 5, and Jeslar has even fresher mediums. But they will wear quicker, so it may look fresher, but you never know. So we are green. Lynx gets a good start, but not the best safety car restart we've seen. Looks like we've got a nice little battle down here already with Rian and Faulkner, as Rian's going up the inside of Faulkner, and he gets the move done up before we even get to Tamburello, and that is the Haas up to 5th, and Jeslar's passed it as well. Haas up to 4th, so Jeslar into 5th, and Faulkner down to 6th already. Looks like Sam Newton's already making moves past Swanee. He is up to 8th. As John Holm gets a 3-second penalty, so that's 2 cars directly in front of Sam with penalties. So Sam de facto P6 at the moment. Got about 2.5 seconds to catch up to Faulkner. Looks like Jeslar is all over the back of the Haas of Rian. And Rian in turn all over the back of Spencer Milton. Will he go for it into Variante Alta? No, he will not. He will bide his time. Possibly go for moving to Vatsa, but most likely only run down to Tamburello, as Lynx is under attack from Joe Lancer at the front. We'll go to that in a moment, but I want to see the resolution of this fight first. As the gaps are swinging to and fro, but it looks like we'll go to Joe Lancer now, see if he can get past Lynx before Rian gets past Spencer. Looks like Rian is past Spencer already, and Joe Lancer trying to get past at Tamburello, but that is not happening. Rian is now in 3rd. I'm looking to try and get up to 2nd quite quickly, as we look behind the Ferrari at the Haas, and then back forward to the Mercedes of Lynx. Back outboard, we've got Rian and the Haas coming from Toza now, already closing up, as Jeslar side by side with Spencer will go on board with the McLaren driver and look from behind. And Jeslar, I think, has learned from his mistake last time he was on its Josh. Will he go for the inside of Acca Minerale? No. Nobody's being brave enough for Spencer. Spencer gets a 3-second penalty and loses on the exit of Acca Minerale to Jeslar. Jeslar up to P4 now, although I do sense he is going to need another pit stop before the end of this race. So he will be hoping for another safety car. Swanee gets a 3-second penalty. Sam Newton is going to go up the inside of John Holmes. Yes, he is, into the Vatsa. Very nice indeed from the Aston Martin driver, up to P6. Putting those fresh hards to good use, as Joe Lancer is now trying to get past Lynx again. Doesn't look like he's got pace at the moment, so Joe Lancer will probably have to wait for DRS on the next lap. He'll just have to try and keep within the second throughout the lap, which, based on the 4-lap difference in tyre life, I think he'll be able to do quite easily. Further down the grid, looks like the closest back we've got is Smith and Swanee. We'll go to that shortly if this doesn't get any more interesting. Sam Newton is already catching up on Spencer. That is scary how quickly he's caught up with just 14 laps to go. And Faulkner with another penalty, a 3-second this time. So 8 seconds will drop him down to 12th and last of the people in the session. Obviously Archer is not here, and John Holmes has had a spin at Pivatella. We'll stay on board with Lancer now and see whether or not he can get past. Lynx, I don't think he's going to go into a VAT, so it'll definitely be moved down on the run to Tamburello. And Sam Newton is right behind Spencer as Smith has just got past Faulkner. Faulkner going to try to get the rebound? No, he's not. And then cut back, you know what I mean. As Joe Lance looks like he's lost a bit of speed, lost a bit of time. And Spencer has been absolutely mugged by Sam Newton as Jeslar, Rian, Joe Lancer and Lynx stay as they were in the top 4. Faulkner has got past Smith again and is pretty much as we were before, and it's side by side with these two. I'm going to stay with this for a little bit. Is Swanee going to go for it? No, Swanee thinks the better of it into Villeneuve and is now falling back into the clutches of DRL Mike. Back up front we've got Jeslar just over a second behind the top 3, but is closing rapidly. And Samuel will be hoping to join us soon as well. And this is going to be a proper DRS train down the start finish straight on the run down to Tamburello next time round. So Carver gets a 3-second penalty as well for corner cutting. Everett's just starting to creep in a little bit now. Obviously it's a different type of race to the sprint. You have to be a lot more calculated, it's a much more strategical, and you can just see the mistakes coming through now. Maybe people are just not used to running 50% and just start to get a little bit tired, who knows. Sam is falling well behind now, as Jeslar looks like he's trying to get past Rian but doesn't have the pace. We're back on board with Lancer. Is he going to go up the inside? No, he's going to go around the outside. Tamburello hoping that Lynx would outbreak himself. What a move around the outside of the exit of Tamburello. Can he keep it into Villeneuve, or will Lynx try and push it up the inside? Lynx has pushed it up the inside and around the outside. Lynx is off. Lynx is down to 4th. But that was fairly clean for the most part, I believe. As Rian now will be looking as the next challenger to Lancer. And we've got Jeslar up the inside. Let's make sure these are clean. Looks like it is going to be clean between those two. Jeslar just sticking his nose in a little bit there. Sam is slowly catching back up to these guys now. And we'll be hoping that he can get involved in this podium battle pretty shortly for Aston Martin. I've got a feeling all 4 of these might need to pit again. Definitely Lynx and Jeslar, because I can't see the mediums going, and Lynx's tyres are 15 laps on. With 12 laps to go, don't know if people want to try and help me with how long the tyres will go. But we're definitely going longer than the game recommends, I think. As Jeslar, is he going to go up the inside? Well, it's nearly 3 wide, and he doesn't quite get the move on Lancer as Rian moved back into the lead of this race. Don't forget he started on pole position. And we have a yellow flag. Looks like it's the Alfa Romeo of Swanee had a spin out of Rivatsa. He has got moving again now, so no safety car needed. This is turning into a hell of a battle between these 3 for the front, for the lead of this race, and looks like between Swanee and his teammates Ghost. But these guys coming through Aqua Minerale now. It is toe to tail here. You know what I mean, tip to tail. Through Alta, and looks like, yeah, Jeslar had a bit of a tag slapper, and Sam's got a 3-second penalty. That is not going to help his push for a podium. He is going to need, he's definitely going to need people in front of him to pit again, and I think he has a slim chance of that happening. Maybe not with the top 2, but definitely with Jeslar and Lynx. I think they will be struggling with their tyres towards the end, as Rian sets the fastest lap of the race. Jeslar going up the inside of Lancer. Is he going to go around the outside of Rian? He's going to try it, and just doesn't get the move done as Mike goes the quickest on his mediums. Jeslar is going around the outside of Rian through Villeneuve, and it is the lead, and he touches. They've touched, and Rian is off, and Sam Newton up the inside in the Aston Martin. announces himself to the podium party. And Rian and Lancer going side by side into Piratella. Clean racing as Swanee has retired. Sam Newton into third. And yeah, Swanee has retired in the pit, so will not get safety cars for that. Sam back into the podium positions, but like I say, he has got that 3-second penalty. As we come through Alton now, Jeslar's already got that 1 second gap, but it's just teetering around there. So Rian might get help of DRS just to help him defend against Sam Newton. But it is getting really close in this top 4. Interested to see if anyone peels off into the pits. I don't think they are going to. We've got 10 laps to go in this race. Jeslar's got a second gap to Rian. Sam Newton with the DRS is going to try and get past Rian. Is he going to do it around the outside? He's trying, and he's spun. He's spun, and he's out. He's been hit by a Lancer, and that's going to be a safety car, surely. Yeah, that's out for top 3. Safety car. And Sam Newton is out. That's such a shame. He was doing such a good race. Whew, and breathe, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to end up losing my voice after this. I will not be surprised if everyone comes in now for a change of tyre. Going to put my child away, and we'll see if anyone pits before I do so. Be interested to see if anyone does. Yep, looks like I think everyone's going to box now. No, Rian stayed out. Rian is chancing it on the hards as Lancer pits. Looks like only a couple are staying out. Rian, Smith and Calvert have stayed out. It's like everyone else has come in. So this could either be a stroke of genius or foolish. That should be 2 seconds. Right, finally put my son away. Let's get off of Faulkner, who is at the back. Right, so we've got Jeslar on softs, Spencer on mediums, Mike on softs. Pardon me. I'm intrigued to see whether or not this gamble pays off for the Haas drivers and Smith. Now looks like we've got John Holmes in the pits as well. We're down to 11 runners. 10 if you don't include Archer's AR. And depending how quickly John Holmes can catch up, we might go racing at the end of his lap. So I'm going to get another lap of the safety car antics, which is lovely, unless it's a very late call, which I've seen later. Yep, there we go. So it'd be Rian to get us going again at Imola. Looks like he's going to wait for the line this time. No, he's gone. He's tried to get the jump, and Jesla is straight alongside Calvert. Calvert with a penalty as well. Spencer Milton up to 5th. Let me just check what penalty he's got. Just a 3 seconds. So if he gets past Calvert, he'll be on for a P4. Very nice from Spencer. If he could get the gap he needs. Spencer just biding his time with House Driver, as Jesla is going to be looking for a lead straight away. Spencer has got past the Haas, and looks like the Alpha Tower's got past the Haas as well. Well, go side by side with these. Let's see what happens here. Any dramas? Doesn't look like it this time round. We'll go on board with Calvert and Lynx. Is Lynx going to drop it down the inside? No, we thought about it, but it is not an easy, and we've had another spin. I keep catching these. So, Mike and Spencer are fighting through Variante Alta, and Lancer has been invited to the raid as well, and Spencer's lost it massively on the run down to Redatsa, and Jeslar's already second. I think this is Jeslar's race to lose now, unless he makes another uncharacteristic spin, as he's going to be going past Rian if he's got straight line speed. Rian leaving just enough room to make it legal, and it's going to be up the inside and over quite quickly. And Jeslar in the Williams, our championship leader, hits the front once again, and I will not be surprised if he has a gap of a couple of seconds by the end of the next lap. Rian, meanwhile, has to look out for Smith behind him, and more importantly, Mike and Joe, who are on the softs. They're the last, really, of drivers without penalties. Everyone else behind has them. So I think your top two, your lead is safe. I don't think second place is yet. We'll see how we get on, because DRS is activated this lap, and Smith will be looking to try and close the gap to Rian. Try and take that podium place, that second place off him, and Mike will be looking for that podium place as well. I would not be surprised to see a podium of Jeslar, Mike and Lancer, not necessarily in that order, but definitely those three, just based on the tyre differential alone, as, yeah, like I said, Jeslar's already got a 2 second gap. 17-0 from the Williams driver. And we've got Mike straight past Smith. Looks like Smith's let his teammate through. That looked like an orchestrated move there. As Mike looks like he's catching up to Rian now. See if he can get past him before the end of his lap. All the other gaps seems to be quite spread out. This looks like it is where the action is at the moment. There's Joe Lancer. Oh, and he's wide into toes at Lancer up the inside. It's going to be a drag race down to Piratella. I don't know whether or not he's going to try and go side by side. It does not look like it. We'll keep an eye behind just in case he gets a run, but it looks like it is going to be single file through Ackerman Valley. as Mike looks like he's all over the place, and he's made a mistake through the exit, and Joe Lancer into third place. Now, both of these guys will want to get Riat. Both of these guys will want this P2, and they are making mistakes. They're making so many mistakes. Lancer's got no ERS, Mike's not got much either. Everyone is running low. Rian in the top 5's got the most. Past that is Spencer. Spencer's got the most in the top 6. Faulkner's got the most on the grid. And Lancer, is he going to get the move? I don't think he's going to get close enough unless he goes for a dive down the inside, which would be foolish from the Ferrari driver. But he is closing in very nicely, so I would expect to see a move quite soon as Spencer gets another penalty for track limits. Smith holding on quite well on the back of his pack, to be honest. As Spencer is closing onto the back of him now. Joe Lancer, I'm trying to think where he's going to make the move, but I think it is just going to have to be down to turn 1. Unless Rian makes an uncharacteristic error. Jeslar has checked out from he's 4 seconds ahead with 3 laps to go now. But out of Variante Alta, this is where, if he gets the run, he could get it down to Rivatsa. But no, it just seems really sluggish out of that corner. It looks like Mike has an edge over the pair of them in that section. But I think Lancer will definitely be past Riat on this lap. So through, there comes the DRS, and I think this is going to be bread and butter for Joe Lancer. Although it's not causing much, of a lack of ERS is really hurting the Ferrari driver. If he had more ERS, I guarantee he would have been through there. But Rian's tyres must be screaming. With 21 laps old now, they've done over a third race distance. Over 2/3 race distance, sorry. Lancer will want to try and get past Rian soon because he doesn't want to lose too much performance in these tyres and potentially lose that to Mike towards the end. As we've only a couple of laps to go, it's all or nothing really for these drivers. I think Rian might be starting to regret his option choice not to pit this time. I mean, I'm guessing he probably didn't have the tyres, which is why he didn't, but looks like Lancer's got the run this time, so he'll be a lot closer coming out of Rivatsa. Which is the corner we enter now. And he's, half spin, and Mike's through. Looks like his teammate might get through as well. No, it doesn't look like his teammate's going to get through, but that was a unnecessary mistake from Lancer in the Ferrari, and it's gifted Mike a P3 at the very least. And I think out of the two, I think I've got more confidence in Mike to get past Rian at the minute because he's got a bit more in his tyres. Even though they are the same age, Lancer was a lot closer to Rian than Mike was to Lancer. So, in theory, his tyres should be slightly better for wear. I would have liked the AWS graphic to come up, but you know, can't have everything. But that looks like he's coming back at right now. Mike's struggling a little bit to keep up with the hard-shodden Haas of Rian. While saying that, he is catching up now, as Spence looks like he's around about, staying around 3 or 4 tenths off of Williams. But it looks like Jeslar's about to start his final lap. We'll go on board with the Williams, well, we'll follow the Williams driver as he enters the final tour of the Emilia-Romagna circuit. With a gap of 5.6 seconds, we're going now to DRL Mike. Is he going to be able to get past Haas? It does not look like it, unless it's a dive bomb, which would be a stupid thing to do at this stage. I'd just sit tight and take the podium if I was Mike. It's good points. Kvarlen is out, so it would be a good haul of points for him, help him with the championship. AlphaTauri not doing too bad. Looks like Ferrari are the big winners though in Emilia Romagna today. We'll go to Ceslar as he's about to cross the line, but I think Lynx might be the next one to try and make a move if he can get past Smith. We'll follow him because I think this is the last chance at a move, really. I don't think we'll see any more overtakes as Mike and Lancer both get 3-second penalties. So Smith on the hards is going to get P3. That I did not see, as Ceslar has crossed the line. Will follow Rian next. Rian crosses the line with P2 from Mike Lancer, but it is Smith who takes the final podium as he did not have a penalty. Lynx in P6, Spencer on his debut in P7, great job from the McLaren driver. Holmes in P8, Fortnite in P9, just waiting now for the last driver, Calvert, to come through, see if he can take that P10 off of the AI of Archer, who DNF'd and left the session after the sprint race. Yeah, the AI just breaks so much earlier, so that was very easy for Calvert to do. Calvert coming across for Haas takes the last points available in the standard point system. I know it's a different point system in the league, which I'm still trying to learn. But that is it. That is the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. Driver of the day is Ceslar, which is well deserved, I think, for the win. With Rian as well, a brilliant recovery, and Smith again, brilliant driver for Ferrari, and great for him to get a podium as well. Did not expect the cars of Lancer and Mike to get those 3-second penalties at the end there. So our final finishing order are Ceslar on the top step of the podium once again, back-to-back wins in Italy, and taking 28 points from this weekend. Rian in second place, he has done well. Second place again, back-to-back in Italy. Smith, podium, I don't know if he's had one before, but congratulations to him for P3. And again, and Ferrari as well, I think, come away with the most points for this weekend, with P3, P4. P5 is Mike, great recovery from him, and Lynx very well. Sam Newton, unlucky in the main race. Let me go through. So, yep, Smith, Mike, Lancer, Lynx, Spencer in P7, great debut from him. Unfortunate at the end there. John Holmes, Faulkner, and Calvert also all doing well. Calvert taking that final points paying place from Archer's AI, who personally I don't think should be counted because he did not complete a single racing lap of that race. Sam Newton unlucky to crash out, as was Swanwick, Varlan, Cavemeister, Zenit, Josh, Ken Murray, and Optics, who was the first retiree of the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix weekend. So it's been brilliant commentating for you guys. Hopefully I get to carry on doing this for the foreseeable future at least. It's been a privilege, and crashes aside, it has been an absolute banger of a race. Safety cars, spins, interesting tyre strategies of a lot. So I do thank you all for watching, whoever did watch, it's much appreciated, and I'll make sure to watch it back and do a proper race review for this tier, and hopefully in the near future should be some things coming from my side, possibly a podcast and hopefully co-commentator, so watch this space. But I thank you all. Good night.